Greetings, wonderful people, men and women of good conscience and lovers of freedom all over the globe. We welcome you back once again to our news digest this day, at the 16th day of September 2022. We must say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. This is vibrating from the desk of Nikki Bobby, where we bring you reliable news across Biafra land and beyond. Today, I want to take a pleasure to analyze step by step the last broadcast of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the extras of it before he was the rendition to the Zoological Republic. I actually want you to go back to the memory line, to read line by line, word by word, so that you will be able to understand exactly the gravity, the magnitude, the importance of those words used by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But of course, before we go into it, I want to urge you to hit the subscribe button, give us likes if you like what we are doing here, as well as to share our videos to those who might like it. Yes, during Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast, he said that he was preparing those IPOB members, those who were born, those who were chosen to fight for the restoration of Biafra before they themselves were even born. Those who were chosen right from the very stomach womb of their mothers. He said that he was preparing people because very, very soon that the chaffs has to be separated from the wheat. I want you to pay attention because I'm going to break it piece by piece so that you will understand it.
But there is one thing I want all of us to understand this very evening. We are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you. That they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully. And they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere. From everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. Some of you, they will buy some of you over. The spirit of Oba, Biasika, and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over.
Now, do you understand? How can you be able to rectify this issue? That a man who took the secrecy of IPOB and went and handed it over to somebody who is not an IPOB member. How can you come to weigh this? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, the zoo is spending quantums of amounts of money to crush the restoration of Biafra. And that they are buying so many people over. How will you be able to rectify this? How can you just oppose this? somebody who was presumably trusted to the level that he was handed over the secrecy of an organization, of a nation, of Biafra, of IPOB. And what this man did was to take it and go and hand over to the enemy. I mean, the man that Mazichina Sanwo-Olu posted about 2 days ago, whom his address was used to be receiving IPOB, confidential and important letters, everything that has to do with a nation. And you want to tell me that this man is not compromised. Instead for you to point towards him, and you are looking for another person. Can you now see some of the underground battle that the leadership of IPOB is battling, is waging, which doesn't come to the public notice? Can you see what is going on? If it were in those days, I tell you, this man would have been deleted by stoning. And he must have to be brought before the market square, and the Omona all together will come and thrust the pebble on him. I tell you, for committing such sacrilege. Let's listen and watch.
I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we're doing. You can't. Not in you cannot. Not in 1 trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwuokike Abiama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora-Eri, the same God of Owe-Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not to be nobody, the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man.
Yes, this we are exactly the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, in the next 2 weeks, and it was within that 2 weeks that his rendition occurred. But I want you to understand something. I do not know how I will be able to put this so that you will be able to understand me. I really need those who are mentally matured to comprehend what I am saying here. That it was necessary for the rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for us to get where we are at this point. Yes. That rendition was absolutely necessary. Because if not, we wouldn't have been where we are right now. I am not saying that it was good. No. But I said necessary. It was a necessity. Because that was what brought IPOB more to the limelight of the world today. As you can see, those who are not even IPOB members are now circulating the gospel. Imagine a professor now fighting in the same line, in the same vision of IPOB, even though she doesn't identify herself as an IPOB member. Let me use another analogy so that you'll be able to comprehend me squarely. When Yehoshua Shizoba came and gave his life for all of us, it was necessary, absolutely necessary, that Yehoshua gave his life for humanity. But then we are not saying that death is good. But it was necessary. If Chizuba, in other words, Yehoshua, hasn't given his life for humanity, then there wouldn't have been a hope for humanity, right? Even though he passed through these 3 stages, but it was necessary. But we didn't say, and we are not saying, that those who made him to die did a nice job. No. The same way I am repeating this, that it was necessary for this rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Like I said before, I want those who are mentally matured to follow me judiciously on this point I'm giving. Yes, we are again talking about Chukwokika Biama. I want to point something out here. There are people that have this misconception that Chukwokika Biama is one sort of God in Arochukwu Ibinu Wabia. There is a God, an idol in Arochukwu that's called Ibinu Wabia. So this is the thing they equate to Chukwokika Biama. And good thing here that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu separated it, the contrast. He said that this is the true and only God, the one God who created the heaven and the earth. Chukwokika Biama, that he's not talking about any sort of Ibinu Wabia. So that those people of late who have started carrying this propaganda and start saying that Chukwokika Biama is a sort of idol that people worship, that they are surprised that of late that this new generation of Biafra and IPOB are now attributing it to the Almighty. And for those who are representing Chukwokika Biama with some sort of idol, I've seen it somewhere where they carry a carved image. They say this is Chukwokika Biama. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is clarifying it here that no one has ever seen him. It is the only true God. That's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said here. And it is necessary that we start bringing these things back to your own head, back to your own brain, at the back of your mind, so that you do not misinterpret and misquote what IPOB and Biafra stand for. Chukwokika Biama is the true God who created the heavens and the entire universe. That is the point we are making. And it is necessary that we clarify it. Not tomorrow you go and carry one carved image. You say, this is Chukwokika Biama. This is your God. Our God, you cannot see him. He's the creator. He made the heavens, on the earth, the entire universe. So upon all their efforts to bring down IPOB, to make sure that they hijack Radio Biafra, they fought tooth and nail immediately after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned. But till today, Radio Biafra is still waxing. We are still listening to it. They were not able to hijack it. And what this man did was to sell out the secrecy of IPOB to somebody else. He even went to the extent to ask, or should I say ordered, the wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu not to come to Radio Biafra for the interview, that he has a different platform he wants to give her. Imagine what somebody like this is giving. I wouldn't blame him, and that's why when somebody is sitting somewhere and be making mouths that he wants to hand you over Biafra. Imagine this man, upon how many years that he has worked with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he said that somebody else has promised them to give them Biafra in 2023. A man of that age is still living in UK till now. He hasn't returned to his fatherland. A man of that age, which you can say that through by virtue of age, that's one word or the other, he must have acquired wisdom, will be there, and a young man will be using his brain to soak eba, to drink gari, according to our people. A man of this caliber that was trusted to the level of funding him this secrecy to secure. Is there any other betrayal that you will see here? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. The spirit of Opabia Sekan is still in some of them, and they are still operating. Let's go ahead and listen.
Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who were chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these no-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.
Yes, an IPOB never capitulated. No. Because Chukwokika Biama is the one leading IPOB. And now you'll be able to testify that we are marching stupendiously. Yes, without letting up. So I want you to have it at the back of your mind that those are challenges that must occur. And these are the steps that will lead to the restoration of Biafra. There is this adage that what makes a strong tree is the wind. If a tree is growing, wind will be pushing it south, east, west, and the north. And the ability to resist it and continue moving is what makes the tree to be strong. Resisting the wind doesn't mean that the tree will go in the opposite direction. No. When the wind comes from the south and be pushing the tree to the north, the tree will be following it, bending to the north. After some times, the wind will change its position and direction, maybe start pushing from west to east, and the tree will equally join it on that current, on that direction. That is what makes a tree a strong one, not going at the opposite of the wind, because if it does, there is no way it can resist the wind. The wind will just break the tree into pieces. Now, let me go back to expatiate what I said earlier, because I want this point to stand out so that you will not misquote me at any point in time. When I said that it was necessary for this rendition, for IPOB to be at the point we are, record Amazon and the council that in the next 2 weeks will be so pivotal, and these events will separate the chaff from the wheat. Did you record that? Yes. And there are still more chaffs that will be separated at this point. Very soon, some events will equally open up and you will see what's going on. When I said it was necessary for this rendition is, Mazen Nandekano has been telling us that we should recall that he himself will be the one leading this in the zoo on the front. That he will be at the forefront leading this battle. Yes, he said it time without number. But possibly, he himself never knew the exact pattern by which he will be leading it. If I ask you a question, do you think that Mazen Nandekano was planning to come back to zoo with an array of armies? Of course, that wouldn't be possible. Do you think that Mazen Nnamdi was planning to come back alone and hand himself over to the zoo? It would not be possible, because if he had done so, that would have been the end of discussion, the end of the game. So which could be the best possible way for him to lead from the front? Chukwu Okike Abiama has the best answer. He knows, and you know, that he works in a very mysterious way. That is why, in the very folly and the idiocy of the zoo, he sent the zoo to Kenya to go and rendition him, committing a war crime. Have you now understood when I said it was necessary? And this very rendition has put under the spotlight on where we are in the event and the movement of the restoration of the nation of Biafra. And the world are hearing it. So I say kudos to all of you who have stood at this critical time. We fought our best, even in Nicky Bobby, those who gained a lot of money from the Zoological Republic, because we know it, Mazen Nnamdi police said it, that they will buy you over. They have quantum of money to buy it and to buy people. Some of them, they have given houses now. Some of them, they have built them houses in Ebonyi State. I mean, the zoo have bought them house, built them house in Ebonyi State. And some of them too, they have built them, given them houses in abroad. Someone who at his 70s or thereabouts, staying in England till now, he has not returned home. He has not even attempted to return first day. Do you think the person is living comfortably? Possibly. When he was approached, he will run quickly to hand over the secrecy of IPOB to some external bodies. We fought, former Nicky Bobby, because the zoo knows what they are doing. But here till today, Nicky Bobby is still vibrating. You are hearing her voice, are you not? So all the enemies have been clamoring that they have defeated. No, IPOB is here, Nicky Bobby is here. Shame unto you all. We continue moving ahead. Why did I bring this memory back to you? It's for you to put 1 plus 1 to know the answer. Put 2 plus 2 to know the answer. Go back and reflect upon these things. Ponder upon the message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Then and then, you'll be able to unravel all this mystery, all this whole quagmire that's just so-called in IPOB of late. Now, let me ask you another question. If those people were right, the way they were preaching, that they are the people now that are ordained by Chukwu Okike Abiama to go and restore Biafra, why are most of them coming back to IPOB and begging the leadership to assimilate them back after causing this mayhem for this 1 year? Why are they now coming back and begging the IPOB leadership that they made a mistake? So we want you to reason, to think. You do not really need a mirror to view the bangle you are wearing on your wrist. Not at all. Sometimes you do not need a soothsayer, a prophecy, to tell you the behavior of somebody you are seeing on a daily basis. You can invite messages from afar. Wonderful people, we thank you for listening. We believe and we wish that you make up 1 or 2 things from what we just told you, because IPOB continue marching forward. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that we are on our own final march, and that is where we are heading to. We are Biafrans, and we say that it is in Biafra land that all of us have our citizenship. And until Biafra is fully restored, we will not rest. May you remain safe and blessed wherever you may be.